Hey guys, Evelyn here, and welcome to this week's writing vlog. So I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in quite a while, so I actually have a whole list of things that I want to cover with you guys and kind of update you on. And I'm gonna start you with what just happened to me within the last half hour or so. So I was getting ready to record and all of a sudden I heard a big bang, and at first I thought maybe it was just someone setting off fireworks, and then I thought actually that felt more like thunder. So I thought, okay, that's kind of weird, right? Well, then Mike started barking, and he was really barking right in front of me too, as if he was trying to get my attention. So I thought, let me just open my balcony door. Well, as soon as I did, smoke smacked me in the face. And then even more alarming than that, I saw two men coming from different directions in front of my building, running to the right side of my balcony. So my first thought was that someone had set something off. Hopefully you can kind of finish that thought for yourself, because I don't want to say anything that would get my video taken down or reviewed. And when I tell you that my adrenaline just spiked, it went through the roof. And I was still in comfy clothes, so I just threw on some pants and I sprinted outside, and come to find out that a car in our parking lot had basically caught fire and blown up. Yeah, that was quite scary and definitely woke me up. So that was the first thing on my list that I wanted to share with you guys. Number two is much more positive. So earlier in the week, I actually jumped on the live stream of one of my favorite author tubers, and her name is Taylor Ann Wright. I'm sure a lot of you have seen her, follow her, what have you. But anyways, I jumped on one of her live streams and just put a little something in the chat saying, "Hi everyone, so excited to be here," or something like that. And this is what happened next.
Hello. Oh, we're so excited. Spawns. Oops. Larry's here.
Yay. Hi, Larry.
Oh, you said it right. Don't worry. Awesome. Well, if anybody has any questions. Oh, wait, Evelyn, I just was watching your video today, this morning with my breakfast. She did a writing vlog by the beach. That was so cozy. Everybody check out Evelyn's channel. Highly recommend.
So anyways, that just gave me a little boost of confidence that I really, really appreciated. So anyways, thank you, Taylor. So now moving on to item number 3 on my list. So last week was my spring break from school. I believe I mentioned this before. And for those of you that are new here, I am an older college student. I decided to go back to get my degree, and so I am currently double majoring in business administration and computer engineering, and it is sucking the life out of me. But anyways, over spring break, I decided to treat myself to a trip to one of my favorite used bookstores. And it is essentially this huge warehouse that actually stores the overstock books for a big bookstore in DC. So it's a bit of a drive for me. That's why I don't go very often, but I did the drive. It was a beautiful day, and actually ended up putzing around the store a little bit, and I will share some clips of that here. a very specific list of topics that I wanted to find books on. I was actually hoping to do some research for the book that I'm writing now. I am writing a fantasy book, but there are some elements, particularly within combat, precious gems, spycraft, codes, things like that that I wanted to research a little bit. So I went in with this whole list and this whole plan, and let me tell you, this place has books on everything. But it quickly turned into a situation where unfortunately I would have been there all day if I wanted to hit everything on my list. And something else that was on my list was to get a book for my brother for his birthday, and that is what I started with. And I ended up sinking so much time into that I really, by the end of it, didn't have the energy or time to keep going. So I'll probably have to make another trip in the future. But anyways, I wanted to share the books that I got him with you guys. So if you're my brother and you're watching this, stop it here. Don't go any further. Okay, and I also need to give some context for these as well, or else this gift will feel really random. So my brother actually recently got into Oxford, so I decided to get him books that relate to Oxford as part of his gift. First up, I got him a book called The Blue Guide. So apparently these are collectible. And this one in particular is about 98 years old, and it still has the map intact in the front. But I just thought it was a really cool book. It was something he would appreciate as a potential history major. So then I have book number 2, and it is this guy right here. So this one is just called Oxford and Cambridge, and it's got a lot of detail about the different schools, but one of the things that I loved most about it is it has these really cool kind of like drawings throughout of different areas within both schools, and I just thought he would really appreciate that. I also thought, again, from a history major standpoint, that it was really interesting that this book was published in 1909, making it 116 years old. Anyways, so I've got my fingers crossed that those go over well. And in other news, I got a new graphics card this week in an attempt to get my third monitor up and running. But fun fact, my motherboard cannot operate its graphics cards under 2 different drivers. So I had to return the one that I purchased and then get a duplicate of my existing graphics card. But I have ordered it and it should get here within a couple weeks. And then hopefully I'll have all 3 monitors up and firing, which should be great because as someone who is very type A and has their outline spread across multiple Google Sheets, I really want the ability to be able to have multiple sheets up at once as well as my manuscript. So hopefully that will work out for the best. So next, I got a bookshelf for my desk because I had rows of pens and pencils and highlighters on my desk before. You probably couldn't tell, but it was really hard to access everything. So I put together this cute little bookshelf, and so far I'm very happy with it. Everything is much more accessible, and I even was able to organize all of my little wires and things that I typically plug into my USB hub, which makes my desk a lot less cluttered. I'm so glad that I splurged and got it done over spring break because it's making my life a lot easier. And last but not least, I actually have something that I'm going to try specifically for tonight's video, and that is to break out my old projector. I saw a video a while back of someone writing, and they had like an ambiance video of the scene they were writing kind of projected up above them as they were writing. And I thought, oh my God, that's brilliant. I'm gonna try that with my projector. So tonight we're gonna break it out, we're gonna set it up, and we're gonna see how I like it. Oh my gosh, I can hear Walter playing with his little bell ball. Do you hear that? Anyways, so with that being said, let me grab the projector, get it set up, and we will start writing. So the projector is not exactly working out. I think the fact that I have a newer iPhone may actually be causing the issue. So today we're gonna write without the projector. On second thought, I think I actually got it working. Do you wanna see? Pretty cool, right? Let me turn the lights off to give you the full effect. Okay, I'm actually getting a little sleepy writing in the dark, so we're going to give the projector a rest and we're gonna make some cinnamon rolls. Okay, and now back to writing. Okay everyone, so it is actually a little past 4 in the morning, so I am ready to call it for the night, but I am going to give you my stats before I leave you. So since the last time that I vlogged, I have written 511 words. So that meant that today I was actually starting at 21,584 words. And within the time that I had tonight, which wasn't very much, but I felt like it was enough, I got 1,586 words done, for a grand total of 23,170 words. And I don't think that's too shabby considering that I did not think I was going to be able to get any writing in at all this week. Now it's true, I had to stay up really late to fit that in, but I would say it's worth it to feel like I'm making progress on my story. And speaking of progress, this all means that my first draft of my manuscript is a little bit over 23% of the way done, which is really exciting. Like I said, I'll be really happy when I hit 25%, but it's still exciting to feel like you're making progress towards a goal. So I'll take what I can get right now. I will say that I am still in chapter 6, which is driving me a little nuts. I think it has become very clear to me that my chapter 6 is really going to have to become chapters 6 and 7. It's going to have to be split. I already have an idea of where I'm gonna split it, but for the sake of following my outline for the time being, I'm going to keep it all as chapter 6. But realistically, what I'm writing now is probably closer to the end of chapter 7 as opposed to the end of chapter 6. Okay everyone, so that brings us to the end of this week's vlog. I really hope you enjoyed your time here, and if you did, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I will see you all next week. Bye guys.